So ready to get into it. Your first week of learning about guitar soloing and lead guitar. The first thing we're going to have to learn is the names of the notes on the top string. You might not have done this before, and it might have seemed quite daunting because you may have thought in the past that you have to learn all the names of the notes on every single string. We're not going to be concerned about that. We're just going to learn the main notes on the top string, and I'll teach you how to do that shortly. But why would we want to learn that, or why do we need to know that? Well, the main reason that I explain to students that we need to know that is because when we're playing with another guitar player or along with some tracks, with a backing track and those sorts of things, often we know the key of the song, but we don't know what that means, and we don't know how to use that. Basically, it's how we find where we start from. That's the way I think about it to start with. When you're beginning guitar, you want to find a place to start from. You just want to find out where you can put your fingers and start. So let's do that today. Without further ado, we'll start with the top string. I'm just tuned, by the way, to normal tuning. We're going to start with the top string. Now that's E, so 0 is E. Now we're just going to be learning the main notes, like the E, F, G, those sort of main notes. Sharps and flats we'll do in a second. First fret is F. And you might want to write this down and draw a little diagram for yourself so you can memorize these. G is the third fret. You'll notice I missed out completely the second fret. I'll explain why as we go. We're just learning the main notes. That's a G at the third fret. A at the fifth fret. That's A. B, 7th fret. It's B. C, 8th fret. So that's the 8th fret, C. 10th fret is D. That's the 10th fret, is D. And then we're back to another E. This is E on the 12th fret. And that's what we call an octave. It's the same note as the E at 0. They're both the same sound, but one note's higher than the other. And that's basically the main notes. See, there's not a lot to learn there, really, is there? So we've got E. We'll go back through them again. First fret's F. Then we've got a G at the 3rd fret. A at the 5th fret, B at the 7th fret, C at the 8th fret, a D at the 10th fret, and an E once again at the 12th fret. By the way, from here on in, it's literally like a carbon copy of what we've just done. So if E is there, notice down the right the 1st fret, F was the next note right next door to it. There's an F right next door to it. And then once again, it's just an imprint, a complete copy of the neck for the first 12 frets is the next 12 frets. So once you've learnt the first few notes, you'll know the notes from then on up as well. So once you've learnt those, and the way I'll get you to practice that is to actually learn maybe 3 notes first. So you'd learn E, F, G, and then just combinations, G, and just say to yourself, G, E, F, E, G, mix it up, E, G, F, G, so it becomes instant. So you want it so it's instant, so you don't have to muck around too much. Then we go and we add another one in there, so you've got A there, and you might want someone to actually repeat these to you and just say, like I would in a lesson, say A, G, F, G, and just get it so it's so quick it becomes instant, and then it's programmed into their mind. It's not something you have to go, okay, well A, B, E, F, G, B is here, okay, B is here. You don't want to have to do that. That takes too long. You want it to be B, bang, your fingers go straight to that note. That's ideally what you'd like. So once you've memorized the main notes, you need to learn about sharps and flats. For sharp means one note higher than, and a flat means the opposite, one note lower than. I used to think of it as a sharp, something pointing up was sharp, and so I would go up to the next note, like a F sharp, for example, is one note higher than F. F sharp is one note higher than an F. Or A sharp right next to there. And then the opposite of that is a flat. Like a flat tire, you'll notice if you have a flat tire in your car, the car is lower. And so I think of low, flat is low. So it's the exact opposite. So a G flat, there's a G. G flat would be the same, if you notice, as an F sharp. This is the bit where it gets confusing because some people don't know what to call a note. Is it an F sharp or is it a G flat? Well, it's both. You just have to choose which one you like the best, I suppose. And some people like to write things all with sharps. Some people like to use more flats. It doesn't really matter too much. But the cool thing is when you've memorized, like say where an A is, but you come across a chord or a note that's A flat, then straight away you just look at the A while you're playing another thing. You look at the A and just look one fret lower, and you've got an A flat. those sort of thing. Quite simple. One other thing to notice when you're memorising these, E and F, there's no E sharp or F flat. There's just E and F. And also the other one is B and C. B and C. There's no B sharp, except in The Simpsons, and there's no C flat. Okay? So that's just B and C, very simple. So you're memorising these things, and it's going to take some time and repetition, but the other thing we need to learn is how to find a key of a song. Now, sometimes the key of a song is written into like maybe you have some notation of a song, and it'll actually say the key of the song. But the way that dummies work out this song, the key of a song, is to find the chords of the song. Most songs have 3 or 4 chords, maybe more, but usually within the first 3 or 4 chords you'll find the key of the song. And so what we do is we find that key by listening to the first chord, either having the first chord, say this is a song was A, C and D. Then you'd go, first chord was an A, and in this case I know it's an A major, so it's either going to be A major, C major or D major. So I've got 3 options to choose from. So that's the best way to find a chord. 9 times out of 10, the first chord will give away the key of the song. There are occasions where that doesn't exactly work, but for most cases and for the things that we'll be working with, finding the key of the song is not too difficult to do, and it takes a bit of getting confidence with that sort of thing. So, and that sort of thing, it's something you can't really practice that much, I suppose. It's just the more you do it, the better you'll get. But just knowing that whatever that chord, that first chord is, and finding out what it is, like say, in this case, let's say the progression was D minor, C, and G. Let's say those were the 3 chords that the song was made up of. The first chord was a D minor, so therefore I'd take it as a guess. The first one the key was going to be D minor, and it's important you know whether it's a minor or major. So we'll see you next week. Have some fun with that, and if you need to, just come back and have a look at this lesson again and just go over it, because you'll need it quite a few times as we go through our lessons. And we'll see you next time for some actual playing of scales and lead soloing. See you next time.